Ну что ж, друзья, всех снова рад приветствовать. Продолжаем проходить детективчик. Всем желаю только приятного просмотра. Не забудьте в конце поставить лайк, подписаться, если вам все понравилось. Не буду я вас отвлекать своими комментариями, потому что я так вообще прям проникаюсь в эту игру. Мне очень нравится, очень нравится. Надеюсь, вам тоже все нравится. Всем приятного просмотра.
Floppy disk detected. Attend no floppy disks detected.
You alright? You alright, Jimmy?
Hey, this is the young Marlon Brando. Could all visitors and employees please note, due to the protesting outside, we advise against opening or remaining closed windows that overlook the main street. This is just
Mr. Miller, you really shouldn't be in here. Mr. Miller,
You shouldn't have access to this room. Can you please leave?
Mr. Miller, you need to leave immediately. Run in. Seriously.
Steve, why are you so lazy?
Right, thank you.
Please insert token.
Okay. Good day, madam.
All right,
Hey, ma'am.
Steve.
I saw you in the restricted area earlier, but you got away before I could speak. You really can't be fooling around, Mr. Miller. You got to keep out of those zones. Mr. Miller, don't forget about that meeting with Carla. You can find something to do in the meantime.
Harvey, I've been going through more of Alex's interview tapes. I found something quite alarming that seems to have been very quickly dismissed. He says his keycard was stolen earlier on the day of the explosion. He said he tried to log it with Carla Berman. I'm not sure how frequently she leaves her office, but if you can somehow gain access, you may be able to find evidence linking her to Alex's keycard.
Please enter PIN.
Steve, I'm just getting a drink of water. Can you cover me?
All I care about are the events leading up to the night of the attack. Now, I have to ask. You said that your husband and Charles Bowman drafted the act. How was Michael involved in this? Take your time.
As far as I knew, Michael was the one dealing with interviewing the immigrants. He usually did most of that, but apparently the workload was getting bigger, so I guess Bowman stepped in to help.
How is it that you didn't know about it? Didn't your own husband tell you
It's
that?
not exactly big news, at the time anyway. People don't discuss every little detail in their day, do they?
Are you saying the police reports are wrong?
I'm saying that security in that place is tight. It wouldn't be easy for someone to be in there undetected.
Mrs. Carson, if you have some information that might aid in this investigation, then you need to tell me now. Otherwise, I'm well within my rights to have you arrested for withholding.
I'm saying the facility is precious about its information protection. Every call or movement, every interview or meeting are recorded for security purposes. The information we both want is in there somewhere. We just need to find the taped evidence.
Okay. Where do you suggest I look?
Mr. Miller, your meeting is in 10 minutes. Don't be late.
Every actor's gotta start somewhere, I guess.
enter PIN.
Mr. Miller, quick reminder. You have a meeting in 5 minutes.
Please enter PIN. Code accepted. Access granted. Access denied. Please enter PIN. Code accepted. Access granted.
Hello, Mr. Miller. Please come in and take a seat.
So I gather you've got some questions you'd like to ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. Shall we begin? He says he wasn't in the building. Well, I don't know how he'd be able to back up that claim. The police found him not too far away from here, that's true, but it was within walking distance. He could have easily got where he did in time, and there's a whole bunch of other evidence. I'm sorry, I just don't see how he thinks that's going to hold any weight. Like who? No, I don't think so. I think it's quite cut and dry. I can't imagine someone else over in the Meta Centre doing it. They like to sound like they know what they're doing, but most of them are incompetent. I know for a fact that some of them use their room number for their alarm code, for God's sake. Does that sound convincing to you? Alex was the only one who really knew what he was doing, and anyway, it's like I said, there was more evidence, wasn't there? Well, for example, the argument we had the night of the attack. Alex and I were having a heated discussion that night. I know that's somewhat anecdotal, but to me it's as good as gold in terms of evidence. Wouldn't you agree? That must be a mistake, surely. I was sure... Maybe now that I think about it, I mean, that could have been earlier, perhaps. So, he was calling from outside the facility? It's hard to remember that night clearly now, but there it is. I'm sorry you think that. I wish you'd known him the way I did. Then there might be less doubt in your mind. It's easy, isn't it, to confuse things. As we've said, it was some time ago, so it's easy to forget the finer details. Nothing comes to mind. Excuse me, what? I didn't say anything about an alarm code. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I must have misspoken. Everyone in the Meta Centre is very careful with their security. I wouldn't... well, let's not dwell on that. No, it was another office. Can we please move on to a different subject, Mr. Miller? Don't you have something about my work that you'd like to ask at all? Is that what he said? That his keycard was stolen? Well, I don't think there's any way I could confirm or deny that for you, Mr. Miller. I'm not even sure what that would have to do with me. I don't believe it was stolen, so it would be futile for me to try and answer that. We were all responsible for our own key cards and security logins. Actual keys aren't used in this part of the building. It's all very cutting edge, so anything like that would have been solely down to Alex. That just seems like conjecture to me, Mr. Miller. It sounds far too convenient to say that he logged it as stolen on the day that it happened. If that's true, then where did he log it? At what time? Wouldn't security know about that? I'm sorry, but it's all a little too convenient for me. I wish I could do more, I really do, but unless you have a point, then I can't help you with that. I really don't understand that man's mind. He's hell-bent on dragging this company's name through the mud. Out of curiosity, what was his evidence? And I suppose I hid that from the police, did I? Well, like you said, there's no evidence at all. Thank you for your honesty, at least. Did I? A few things around here probably still use keys. It's outdated if you ask me. You won't find anything in the facility that uses them, though. Our security protocol won't allow them. But I think the older areas still have the old-fashioned key and lock. No. Marlon Thornton, the cleaner, he's the only person who uses them for stock rooms and locker rooms, you know. Oh, that reminds me. If you're over at the Meta Centre later, you should take a look at the old Victorian baths. They're going to be knocked down soon, so you should take a look there before you go. No? They're just quite nice. I tell you what, I'll ask Marlon to open them up for you later on. If he's got time, then they'll be open for you when you go and have your meeting with Chance Crow. Anyway, yeah. Okay, Mr. Miller, that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid. Can you please see yourself out?
Hi, I'm home.
Because we don't want our hands tied by the law every time we have to make a decision. But it won't be long. Just remember one. The world is changing around us. I agree. I have no idea why you're still wearing the same clothes you were wearing in the 70s. I'm not going to change your mind on this, am I?
Molly, you'd better be in bed when I get up there.
Coop, will you talk some sense into your husband, please?
Well, I'm staying out of this one.
Right, on that note, I'll see myself out.
You and Carol still here for Sunday dinner?
Don't forget to pass that folder on to Sarah in the morning, okay?
Wouldn't miss it.
Well, Mr. Miller, thank you for being so respectful of the rules in our facility. You wouldn't believe the amount of people we have to tell to leave staff-only areas. Your next meeting is with Chance Crow very soon. Feel free to take a wander around in our gardens. I'll be waiting for you over in the Meta Centre when you're ready to begin.